sort of we finished the season, I had 3 weeks off and then found myself with a contract. So I was back in the gym 3 weeks later, and it's still going now. But I have had a little bit of a time to reflect, and I'm still pinching myself, to be honest. Just a small boy from the country of Mildura, and living my dream currently. So while I haven't had much time to reflect, I think it's probably a good thing. I've always had a good passion for cricket. I finally decided at the age of 19 to make the move down to Geelong and try and further my cricket. I started off there in the third division. Finally got my way into the ones, and found myself playing some pretty handy cricket, which was good. Obviously, then playing first division, then playing into the Futures League, which was another massive stepping stone for me. And then, like you said, just through some performances there, finding myself walking out on a fresh Adelaide Oval or an MCG, and like I said before, I still can't really describe it because I still pinch myself now. Mum and Dad commented when I was playing out in the G, after my first bowl, they said, just stop looking at yourself. I found myself looking at the big screen. I was running in bowling, just looking at the big screen. I was in absolute awe of myself at that point in time. But like obviously, as you said, being from Mildura, I've had a lot of support and a lot of family, a lot of friends in the small community that really got behind me, which is awesome.
And down at Geelong, there's been some very good players from that area. Mark Carson, you would have managed to play a little bit of cricket with him. Yeah,
Mark's been a massive influence on my cricket career. He sort of really took me under his wing when I arrived. He's a very smart man. He's a very, very, very good bowler, and certainly someone that I'll always listen to and take advice off. So he's had a massive part in my career this far, and he probably will always continue to. If I need some advice, I'll usually find myself ringing the great man himself.
What are some of the key messages that he's imparted on you?
He's a massive one. He's a pretty old school, Mark. He's obviously a Colac boy. He's very old school. He's very line and length sort of bowler. He's always the top of the knee roll, you're aiming at the gloves, top of off stump, and he's really very basic. I think that's what I need for my cricket. So if I am working on things here at the MCG and maybe they're getting a bit far away from the basics, I'll sort of ring him and we'll just chat about it, and I'll go to training the next day and sort of work on a few things.
What about the competitive beast? Has he been able to tap into that with you?
Yeah, he's always telling me I've got to get a bit more anger in me, but I think now I've got good aggression, but it's controlled aggression, whereas his aggression could sometimes get a bit out of control. But no, he's like I said, he's had a massive part on my career, and I think the aggression that you'll see from me in games certainly I've learnt that from him.
What were your initial impressions of playing at first class level?
I was in shock. I was in awe. I sort of sat in the corner and just took it all in. I didn't realise the standard, like it's an amazing standard. I think the jump from first grade at Geelong then to the Futures League is a jump in itself, but then that next jump again is massive, something I probably didn't expect, and I got found out a little bit in my first game in Adelaide. But then, slowly settling into that in the next 2 games at the MCG and getting my first wicket and sort of making me feel like I belong a bit, certainly helped, but certainly a lot tougher. And I know now that I'll be working on something for the rest of my career, and I'll never think that I'm good enough to be at that level. So I think certainly it's tougher than what I thought.
Who have been some of the players within the Victorian setup that have had an influence on you so far?
I think before I even met any of them, a lot of them did. Victorian boy, obviously Peter Siddle and James Pattinson and Clint Mackay and those sort of guys, Johnny Hastings, they were always blokes I looked up to anyway. Then getting into the squad, certainly Clint Mackay, I find myself catching up with him for coffee regularly, just to learn things about, his own disappointments and stuff in cricket or his own success, to learn how maybe I can learn from that. Big Johnny Hastings, and I think Sids as well, like they're guys that I sort of want to aspire to be, big fast bowlers. Obviously James as well. So I think, those guys, I try and gravitate to them and try and learn as much as I can off those sort of guys. But in saying that, Matty Wade, our captain, he's very, very insightful, and he'll always give an opinion where he thinks one is due. So,
and sometimes the opposition batsman as well.
Yeah.
What sort of a bowler are you?
I'd like to think I was quick when I grew up. I always thought I was quick. Then I got down here and I thought, well, you're not that quick. You're quick at home, but you're not quick here. I'd like to think a fast medium bowler. I'd like to outswing the ball. And then hopefully all this pre-season and stuff will work on trying to develop a few more tricks as well. But I'd like to think I'm fairly relentless and stuff like that. But then I've got plenty to work on. I'm only 3 games old in first class standard, so I've got a long way to go, and I'll do as much work as I can. I'd like to look in maybe doing something in real estate and stuff when cricket's finished. So maybe now I can start sort of, days off and stuff, I can start trying to probably get a bit of a trade or a bit of foot in the door there. So that's certainly something that I'd like to do after cricket anyway.
To play a bit of bush footy?
I did play a bit of I only stopped playing footy 2 years ago, yeah.
Who did you play with up there?
I was a Redcliffe boy. I'm born and bred in Redcliffe, so always played all my footy in Redcliffe. Then I moved to Geelong and played a bit of footy for Western Eagles in the Colac District League as well, and won myself a nice little interleague medal there.
Jeez, not bad. What sort of position did you play?
Full forward, mate. I like to think I look a little bit like Jack Rewalt. I love Jack Rewalt. I'm a Richmond boy. I love Jack Rewalt, so I just run out of the square and carry on like he does on a Saturday or Sunday.
Who else rates himself as a footballer in the Vic squad?
Matty Wade. He's related to Jeremy Howe. He thinks he's Jeremy Howe. Calls himself Ablett. Runs around bagging out blokes, slagging everyone off, telling everyone that he's got the 3 votes. He's probably the worst, Matty Wade. He's a competitive beast.
And who's the worst footballer in the Vic squad?
That's probably a tough one. Scott Boland's probably the worst, I'd say.
Okay. Well, look, all the best for the season coming up. Hope you get a few poles, get a few more revs on the ball, and manage to string together some more games. And look forward to chatting to you soon.
Beautiful. Thanks very much for having me.